art. I am feeling great.
Hello dear friends, welcome back to Light of Knowledge, welcome back to Godlywood Studio. We are talking about the art of problem solving, and we are all in the business of life. Life should be exciting and it should be enriching, but we can make our life enriching only when we use all our resources. We hear a lot about giving your 100%. What is it that it is meant by giving your 100%? We have a lot of potential, but at times we fail to use it due to our own forgetfulness or our own lack of application. There can be a lot of reasons. That is why we are doing this discussion. When we find out that we have resources and we can use it for our advantage, then the whole life just changes. So come, let us continue our discussion on problem solving with Shreya Ben. Welcome to the studio.
Om Shanti.
Shreya Ben, I thought about what you said on the past experiences. We all have many past experiences which sometimes become a problem now. I want to get out of it, but I'm not able to. For example, I have a friend of mine who feels so guilty because he was responsible for killing someone in an accident. It was now he's so guilty, feeling so guilty, even though every one of his friends, his dear and near, everyone is trying to console him. It is okay, it is done, you cannot do anything about it. He knows that he cannot do anything about it, but still this thing is weighing in his mind and it is obstructing the flow. He is not able to do anything.
Yes, one thing is there that there is a lot of past which is not very nice. There is also a lot of past which is very beautiful. And when you relive that past, it can be very encouraging. It can give you those beautiful feelings once again to feel them. But there are some scenes in our life which...
But reliving that beautiful scenes, I am not able to do that because this negative thing is coming up on its own. I am not invoking it or something, but it is coming and my mind is filled only with this.
Again, when we say it's coming on my own, it's when does it start to come on its own is when I think about it again and again and again and again. It kind of becomes a habit. You know, that is what habit is. The first time it will come, and if you don't stop it there, if you don't put a full stop, it will keep coming back. And the more it comes back, the impression is becoming deeper. And even though the scene, yes, it is a very big scene, it's very difficult that you became an instrument in killing somebody. But I am sure this person hasn't done it intentionally. This was a scene in life, very big, very damaging to the family of that particular kid. But at the same time, when we understand that we cannot do anything about it, then if you keep going in guilt, and guilt is something where you're having thoughts which are very negative in the quality.
Of course,
you're kind of blaming yourself, you don't think you're worth living, you kind of sabotaging yourself, and in the process you're draining out all your energy. And not only that, then every time you are driving, and if you keep thinking about that scene again and again, you're also generating fear, which can reduce my efficiency. The very dangerous part is something like this can happen again, because I am not in the present, I am living in the past, so my concentration is not here today. Even when I am driving, if I keep thinking about that scene again and again, then I am not focused here today.
But knowing all this, how can we help him to get out of this? Should we wait so that as time passes, this thing will also go away from his mind? But it is nearly 2 years and still he is holding on to it. So what is the next step?
See, again, we can't depend on time. Even though people say that time heals, but we also have to understand that we can't wait for time, because we don't know, it would be 2 months, 6 months, 2 years, and if we don't heal very fast, maybe something else happens in 2 years. Because we are living in that pain and fear, there are chances we might repeat that mistake. So time is a healer, definitely, but because time is my creation, and if time heals me, time becomes more powerful. Time is my creation. I am more powerful than time, and that is what becoming the master is.
I didn't get it completely, Shreya Ben. How does time become my creation? It is there.
You know, time, when you say time heals, what actually we are saying is that over a period of time, the new information comes in and this one automatically merges. That's how it happens. You are thinking about something which you have read today, then you read something tomorrow, that particular information takes a back seat.
Yeah.
So, over a period of time, this knowledge will not disappear. The whole incident will not disappear, but it will go, it kind of merges in my memory track.
Because of this new information,
The
effect will get diminished.
Yes, the effect will get diminished because of the new information, because of the new experiences, more experiences every day, because of we are moving on in life, there's so much happening, so that thing is just taking a back seat. But again, if it's very deep, it may take a month, it may take 2 months, it may take 6 months, it may take a year, and like you said, for him it's been 2 years.
But again, what you said, I still, it is not very clear to me. The credit goes to time, but what is the problem? Let time take the credit. We just want to see the solution.
I'm still not the master, and I have to wait for the time to heal me. And because we're living in such difficult times, challenging times, there is not enough time to heal from one situation before the other one hits us. There's so much
That's
happening
right.
around us.
That's right.
In fact, there's so much happening even in one day. Even if you look at one day, how many days do you have in an year or even in a month which goes exactly the way you want?
See, sometimes, Shravan, just thoughts strike me. Sometimes we think these are all not going to happen. We should just let it go their own way, right? We sometimes lose hope as well.
No, it is not really losing hope, but it is understanding that everybody is different and are going to behave in a different manner. It is not that everything is going to dance to your tunes. It's not that everything is going to happen the way you want. So, it's a series of situations and you have to respond. But if you are stuck in one situation and stuck in the pain of one situation and you don't fall back, then you are not prepared to deal with the other situation. Are you getting? We
Yeah.
need to be prepared.
Yeah, that was really wonderful, because the healing time, you said, from one situation to the next.
Yes.
If situations keep on coming like
Yes.
this, then we will have to, we cannot take that much time.
We don't have time.
And
you
you
know,
said waiting also. I'm never comfortable waiting for something.
because you're going through that pain so much. We can deal with it on our own. We are the masters. I mean, I was sitting with somebody the other day when they said, you know, the situations today, people sometimes call this time Kali Yuga, the age of darkness. And she said the situations are like raindrops. And you see how fast the raindrops fall, and even if you try to walk between them, it is not possible, because you still will get hit by something. And that's how the fast the scenes are coming. And sometimes we think that spirituality is all about getting rid of these problems. You know, if I come into spirituality, if I start listening to knowledge, if I start meditating, all this will stop for me. There will be no problems, there will be no situations.
Oh
But
my
that is
God.
not the
One
truth.
of the reasons why I'm sitting here is I'm looking for something from you so that I can lead a problem-free life.
Then you will have to realize that it's an illusion to have a problem-free life.
That is what we are telling our viewers. You just watch Light of Knowledge, you just watch Art of Problem Solving, and then you can lead a problem-free life.
See, what is a problem? Problem, you say it a problem, you say it a situation. In Hindi, it is very beautifully called parasthiti, right? Now, parasthiti means par, which is coming from
Outside.
outside. Now, something which is coming from outside, how can I, you, or anybody control it? We don't even know what's going to happen next moment. I don't know what's going to happen next moment. There could be an accident, there could be heavy rainfall, the flights are, you know, we're reading everything. Today everything is fine, tomorrow the airport is closed, today everything is fine, tomorrow there's a terrorist attack, small things, big things, all this is happening. Now, when this is happening, we have no control.
I can't lead a problem-free life.
But what you can do is, you can lead a pain-free life. problem comes from outside. The pain, the suffering
That comes from inside.
that comes from inside.
Hmm.
So if I am powerful, then when the problem comes, I don't create suffering. I
I
respond
don't
to
create
it.
suffering.
Yeah, I don't.
I never create suffering.
You know, if there are two patients who are diagnosed by cancer today,
Hmm.
do you think they're going to react in the same manner?
Of course not. It will depend on how they were brought up, their own courage, their own ability to face situations. There can be difference.
They can be different, and we have seen it in the world
Yeah.
where, you know, when one is diagnosed with cancer, he was perfectly okay yesterday, and today the moment he gets to know, he is almost on
Completely
bed,
devastated.
completely devastated.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what to do, his world is all shattered.
Mm.
And there can be another person who, when he hears this news, what could be his response? Could there be any other response, or you have to feel like being
Yeah,
shattered?
no, not necessarily. I know people who have taken it very bravely, and we even read about them in
Yes.
newspapers. They
Yes.
fought the battle and they won.
In fact, I remember that I was reading in newspaper this one time about an actor, one of the Bollywood actors, and he shared very beautifully that first his mother got cancer.
Hmm.
And when his mother got cancer, now because she was old and she didn't know how to deal with it, and she became very fearful,
Hmm.
he said that I looked at her journey and she didn't want to live, or she didn't have that enthusiasm to fight that battle. And there was so much fear that she passed away not because of cancer but because of a heart stroke.
Oh my God.
She did not pass because of the cancer, but because she was so fearful and she was so taken by the information, by the knowledge, and she kept thinking about it. She created so much pain, so much suffering, that it was not the cancer that killed her. It was actually the stroke, which the doctors say the reason could be a lot of, you know, this emotional disturbance. And then he shared that after just after a very little span of time, his 6-year-old child was diagnosed with a cancer. Very difficult for the father indeed. But then a 6-year-old was diagnosed with a cancer, and the 6-year-old had no information what cancer is.
Yeah.
Of course, he can see the symptoms and he's feeling tired and he's feeling all that, but he has no plethora of knowledge about the cancer. You know, when we hear cancer, the immediate thing is, oh my God, it's probably going to take you to your deathbed. But the little child doesn't know. So he fought the same battle with so much enthusiasm, with so much courage, and he came out of it. The only reason he came out of it
Because he didn't have the information.
And he did not create the fear. Now we have the information. It's not that we can delete. Lucky that that 6-year-old didn't know so much about it. His parents didn't tell him a lot in detail. Rather, they made it look like a game. Every time he would go for a treatment, he was told he would get candies and he would get this and that. So for him, you know, it was like, okay, if I go through this battle, then there is a gift waiting for me at the other end, whatever. The whole journey was very nice and of course challenging, but he made it. So what I'm trying to say is that the situation is not making me suffer. Because if the situation is making me suffer, then the suffering for both the people should be same. But the suffering is totally dependent on, like you very rightly said, my courage, my way of looking life, my tolerance power, my power to accommodate so many of my powers. And when I don't have that power.
Okay, so we need to look into this power within ourselves rather than looking at the situations and feel that my life is gone.
Yes, we need to develop this power. That is why, you know, one of the imagery that you see of deities, you know, when you go to the temple and you look at deities, if you look at the face of deity, it's very virtuous. If you look at the deity, you look in their eyes, what values do you see in their eyes? If you look very closely,
I think compassion.
Yes, there is compassion. What else?
Love.
Love.
And if I go deeper, I think I have seen detachment.
Yes.
And I have seen a kind of fearlessness.
Fearlessness, detachment,
Mm.
and see, it is not even something which is living.
Yeah.
It is jad.
Mm.
And the painter makes so much of an effort to put virtues even in that. They paint it with an art. It is beautiful because you can see emotions in something which has no emotions.
Mm.
It is stone. The stone has no feelings, but they create it in such a way that even in that you can sense, you can feel the emotions. And as you very rightly said, there is compassion, there is love, there is fearlessness. So the face is very virtuous. Their hand is also like this, somebody who is always
Giving.
not taking. But then if you see the other hands, which are always remembered in the Indian scriptures, they're holding a lot of weapons.
Yeah, of course.
There
That is one thing many people keep on asking.
Yeah.
Your gods look like they are warriors, and you have a lot of violence going on. So, I don't know why do they have this.
No, because see, if you look in their praise about the deities, one of the praise that we sing for deities is that they are non-violent. Ahimsa paramo dharam. That's one of the praise that we sing for them. So if we are singing for them that they're non-violent, definitely they are not violent. But all these trident and this chakra and all other weapons that you see they're holding is actually the symbolic of powers. See, only a powerful soul can be a virtuous soul.
Just a minute. I need time to digest that. I need time to digest that. If I'm not powerful, I'm not virtuous.
You are virtuous, but if you're not powerful, it is difficult to lead a virtuous life in today's time.
It's the same because
No, it's not the same. It is when you say that I'm not virtuous, you're trying to say that I am not love, but that's not the truth. The truth is I am love, I am happiness, I am peace, but if I don't have the power to tolerate, then very quickly I can lose my peace and go from peace to peacelessness. Situation is going to come,
just a minute, sister. Power and virtues. I really thought these are just different names given to the same things. Maybe virtues, values, powers. We hear a lot of it. So, what is the difference?
See, the virtues are the original qualities of the soul, which everybody is wanting. We want to experience that. We want to experience love, peace, happiness, joy, bliss, compassion. We want to experience this. The truth is that this is what we are. This is my original nature. I don't have to get it from outside. I don't have to look for peace outside, because we know there is no peace outside. And there goes the old saying, peace is within. Whenever you ask anybody, say, where is the peace? And they say, go within. Peace is within. Because I am peaceful, for example, this moment, I am peaceful, but you come and start shouting at me. You start insulting me. You start saying things which are very, very negative about me. Now, I am peaceful if I am powerful. If I have the power to tolerate and the power to accommodate, then I don't get affected by what you're saying and I can maintain my peace. But if I don't have powers, then I know I am a peaceful soul, but I am so easily affected by what you are saying. The other word that we use, sensitive. Touch me not flower. You touch and there it goes. So we become so weak. We're like, touch me not. We have no powers. The battery is almost depleted. The moment you say something to me, there I go.
Okay, so rather than talking about qualities, virtues, values, we need to talk more about powers.
We need to develop more powers, and the way to develop more powers is definitely one to understand where to use which power, which are the powers which are important, and at the same time connecting with the powerhouse to fill myself with the powers.
Connecting with God.
Connecting with God, connecting with the divine being. And that is the same which is happening with your friend, because he is not very powerful. He is going back into guilt again and again. The guilt is coming again and again because he knows that I have to come out of the guilt, but because there is no power, he goes back into the vicious cycle again. And it's not that he doesn't know what to do.
If he do know what to do, then why don't he just go about doing it?
Because he is weak. He needs to make himself powerful. We all know, even you know, see, how we counsel somebody else. We know exactly how to counsel. We're going to tell them, it's okay, you didn't do it intentionally, it wasn't your mistake, it happened, it's okay, come out of it, live your life, that soul is already departed, probably has taken another birth, it's okay. So see how we know how to counsel another person. So because we are detached and we're not experiencing the pain, we know exactly what to do. We know exactly what to do. Now this soul, this very person, this very being will have to detach himself a little and will have to counsel himself.
Sister,
Let go of it.
but let me tell you about a very practical problem which happens when we do this. I have given a lot of advice to many people, but when the same thing happened to me, I find that I'm not able to find a foothold sometimes. So how can this person who is already very weak, it needs a lot of power to
It needs a lot of self-talk, and the truth is nobody except him can do it. If the whole world is telling you, you're very good, you're very good, you're very talented, but if inside you keep creating a thought that no, I'm not good, I'm not worthy, I don't think I can do it, then you will still be creating that negative feeling.
Okay, so the other way around can also be right then. If the whole world talk to me, point out me, you're not good, if I feel that I'm good, then
Absolutely. That's what we have to do. That is what the self-respect is. But because we don't have that very strong self-respect, our respect is dependent on what you are talking about me. And then I start living my life the way you want me to live, and I feel suffocated because I'm all the time pretending, I'm all the time living an image, so I never feel comfortable with myself.
I think, sister, we need to talk about how to develop this self-respect, because I think that is going to be the foundation of living a problem-free, I'm sorry, it's not a problem-free, it is a pain-free life. But you have given us, I think, it was a shock to me, really. I cannot lead a problem-free life, but it is okay. A pain-free life would do. If I am powerful, I think I can take care of my own problems. Sister, can we do a little bit of meditation?
Yes. Just for a moment, detach yourself from everything. Come into the awareness that I cannot change the past. Everything that happened in the past, good or bad, that scene was meant to happen. I need to learn from that situation. If I made a mistake, I need to realize the mistake I made. And now I need to focus my energy on changing that weakness that led to that mistake. If I continue to think about past, I will only experience pain. So in this moment, no matter how big the thing was, learn from it and let go. Mistakes happen, but it's okay. The important thing is I learn from it and don't repeat it. So today, I choose to focus my energy on changing my weakness rather than wallowing in the sorrow. Om Shanti.
Thanks a lot, sister, for the invaluable lessons, for the meditation. We will churn over this and we'll get back to you in the next episode. Thank you.
Om Shanti.
So that's all, friends, for today. It was an incredible conversation as far as I'm concerned, because I've got my aha moment when she said, you cannot lead a problem-free life, you can lead a pain-free life. But that's all we are after, I think, because it is this pain which obstructs our flow of life, and once we can get rid of it, and she said, we are creating our own pain, we are creating our own suffering. We need to think about this, because if we are creating it, then we can stop creating it also. Then we have our power and control back in our own hands. So that is the way to lead life. And keep on watching Light of Knowledge, and continue giving us your feedback, because it is invaluable. And until we meet in the next episode, it's a goodbye from all of us.